we're going to look at a ball above, ball below, uphill and downhill lies. Different angle lies can be a card wrecker, but with this simple solution, you will have a game plan that will work in minutes. And I promise you, you will never forget it. You'll save yourself shots too on the course. We're going to start with ball above your feet, 147, 150 to the front.
Yeah.
What club are we thinking?
So my 140 to 150 club is generally a 7-iron.
Okay.
I've got a 6-iron in case it was a case of clubbing up.
Okay.
I'd probably, you say it's 147 to the front, and it's a back pin. So my initial thought would be 6-iron, get it long, there's bunker, short. I'd rather go long than short.
I love this game plan. I love this game plan.
Now, I'd probably hit my 7-iron better than a 6-iron, so yeah.
Okay, so go with your gut. What?
Yeah,
I'll hold the one you're not going to use it.
I'm going to go 6-iron.
Cool. Let's step over here.
Cool.
So talk me through what you would do differently to a flat lie when the ball is, well, for being honest, it's quite a way above our feet, really. It's probably 6, 7 inches above our feet.
Yeah, it's deceptive because you'd almost go, well, it's not that.
And that's why I think this one can really catch you out.
Exactly. So as I understand it, ball above would go more to the left.
Correct.
And ball above, sorry, the opposite.
Yeah, would go to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would, if I was to say, right, if I go at the flag,
yeah,
it would go to the left of it, and that's probably safer to me. So I'd probably go aim at the flag,
yeah,
expect it to go left, and then it'd go up in that collar.
So to break that down, when the ball's above your feet, we're going to aim slightly to the right of where we would normally. You're saying you would aim down the throat of this green as your sort of aiming area,
yeah,
but you're going to aim slightly right to finish there because the ball will start a little bit left than you anticipate. It'll always usually have a little bit of right to left on it. Anything else you'd do? So that's the first thing.
Because it's a little bit above, I'd probably be gripping a little bit down the shaft.
Perfect, there's point number 2. So we've gone from the top to a little bit more down. And then number 3, if there's 3 things we've got to do for every shot, what's our third?
It's an ope.
Not the answer we're wanting, but you know what? There is a little bit of that. So they are perfect, Jonathan, in terms of what we did. So how I'd go about this is I would stand in, I would grip down, and I would then feel like I'm a little bit more upright with my body.
Right.
Just to encourage this swing to be a little more rounded, okay? Right. If we try and stay down in that sort of normal posture, it's very hard.
Right.
And gripping down will encourage you to get a bit closer and a little bit more upright.
Okay.
So breaking them down here on the side of the screen, we're gonna aim right slightly. We're going to anticipate the ball launching a little left of where we would normally anticipate it to be, curving with a bit of right to left for a right-handed golfer. So then we go grip down, stand a little taller. And I like the fact you've got a longer club, if I'm honest. I think we would always, overall, with all these shots, we want to swing a little smoother because they are awkward lies, right? Let's fire away, sir.
Cool.
Pressure's on now. Nice shot.
Yep.
Beauty. Missed that bunker. Get over it. Oh, stay out. Just out.
Yeah.
But it's launched a little left and it curled a little more that way. Now, another piece of advice that I would say is that the shorter the club, the more loft you have, the more the slope will actually have an effect on launch direction. So, for example, a 6-iron wouldn't launch as left as you would anticipate than if you had something like a sand wedge. Right. Should we take a few steps further forward and we'll go ball below your feet. So we've now got a little bit less. We've got sort of 140 to the front. Look how below my feet that is. That is crazy. Now, how are we approaching this? We've sort of already alluded to what happens, but let's say for every one of these shots, there's 3 things that you've got to do to help you. What are we thinking? Ball flight's going to be?
So it's going to be, in theory, the opposite of what we've just had. So this one is now going to go from left to right.
Yeah.
So I would probably be looking at reversing what we've just done. So I'd probably be gripping up towards the top of the club.
Yeah.
I'd probably be, instead of going sort of closer to the ball, I'd probably be going a little bit further away.
Okay.
And maybe sitting down a bit and expecting it. And I'd be aiming up the left for it to curve to the right.
I don't think you've pretty much absolutely nailed it on correct there. What I would say, if we just looked at this here, I would go, number one, I would grip a little bit higher
Yep.
if you can. Some people grip right towards the top anyway, but if you're here, we can grip a little bit higher. We're then going to feel like we aim a little bit left of target because we're anticipating left to right ball flight. And the third one, sit down a little more. And I would always say within these shots, Jonathan, you want to feel like you're staying in the shot a little more. You don't want to feel like you're lifting, coming out. You want to really feel we're staying in that shot. And that's a really key point. Right, let's have a go. Sort of towards that bunker, would you say?
Yeah.
Because it's going to start a little right of where we think.
So I'm thinking if that's the line,
Yeah.
if I sort of get myself
Perfect. Ace, then bend those knees a little more, I would, and then just really feel like you stay in the shot. It's a tough shot, this. Oh, he rips it. You've drawn it off the uphill below your feet line.
That's the classic, isn't it? You expect it to do one thing and then you hit it pure.
No, we're looking at this. Usually, that is exactly what happens. That was a pure strike.
Yeah.
Now, usually a lot of people on those will catch it very thin.
Yeah.
We won't get a good strike on it. You've somehow defeated physics and got it to draw on that line. But no matter, if you hit 10 shots from here, we'd probably see majority, or we definitely would see majority have left to right curve on it. Now, if you get in the middle and you stand back and you flip it, of course, these other things can happen. But we're looking at this going, okay, so if the ball's below your feet, it's going to want to move with left to right curve. So let's grip up, let's get into the shot, and let's aim a little bit left to really anticipate what would happen on average would be that left to right curve. That was a beautiful strike, by the way.
And I mean, in fairness though, with the way that's all shaping up anyway, you'd want to go left.
Yeah, I mean, you've not missed it in the worst place
exactly,
possible.
Exactly,
Like,
it's a good miss.
good strike, good miss. Not the ball flight we're anticipating, but right, okay, let's move on to an uphill lie, and then there's a really hard one at the end, which a lot of people get wrong, which is the downhill lie. It's a real tough one, but not when you use this theory. We're now on our third lie. This is an uphill slope. Right, Jonathan, I want you just to talk me through the three things that we would possibly think about. So first one, what do you think our ball's going to do in general?
It's probably going to launch a bit higher.
Correct?
But that would be maybe as much as I take into account.
So I think you're right. So I would tend to go one club longer as our first thing. So you got 7-9 there. I'm going to give you 6.
Cool.
And I want you then to feel as though, I mean, these are the stuff that I would say, some people would say don't do this, but this is sort of what I've found out over the years of how to best play this. So the ball's going to launch higher, it's going to go shorter, so we need to add an extra club. I then would sort of match my body to the slope, but when I'm actually hitting the shot, I really try and feel as though I'm not going to lean back and swing up the slope. I'm going to try and swing slightly into the slope, because I fear if I match the slope, I'm going to lean back and before you know it, it's gone. So the first thing, we're going to take an extra club. The second thing is we're going to match the slope. And then the third thing, we're going to make sure our ball is roughly towards the middle. Right. I tend to see if you had normal 6-iron ball position, it would then come into the equation that we could catch it a little thin, just in case we leant back. So you could also argue, I mean, some of the times when I'm hitting longer clubs in these scenarios, I tend to then see it does have a little bit of right to left curve on it as well. But I would aim straight, take an extra club, get that body to match that slope, and really feel as though you how could I describe this a little better? If someone said to me, swing up the slope, that would be up the slope to me.
Yeah, you're not leaning back, you're still trying to weight forward.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to find it really hard to get through the shot, but I would really say that's how I describe it there. So I'm slightly more in than I am up. Yeah. But I'm not digging in. It's
punchy.
That's a great way to describe it. That's perfect. That's what we're trying to come to the conclusion of. Right, let's play it. Yep. This is a really tough one, this one, I think. And then the last one is even tougher. Good, I like that. So you can see shoulders. Move the ball slightly further back in your stance. That's it. Good. Exactly like this. Look at this shot right here. Get on the green.
Yeah.
On the fringe. Could you see how it had a little bit of right to left curve on it?
Yeah.
Just a tiny little bit on it. And that's just out of the amount of shots that I've hit. And some people will fear that it have more right to left curve on it. Some people might then see it has less right to left curve on it. And these are the things that you've got to try and test and see. Okay, let's take a few steps forward. We've now got the dreaded downhill lie, and if you get this wrong, you're going to see fats, you're going to see thins, you're going to see all those horrible shots. So Jonathan just mentioned it's a really interesting thing to club up from the same yardage, but the real simple answer to that is, if you think, right, let's say that this is 8 iron I've got in my hand here, but as soon as you go up the slope, you're turning your 8 iron into 9 iron.
Yeah.
So you've got to sort of take an extra club to compensate for that. Okay, let's have a look at this lie right here. Now, what a lot of people will do, will bottom out early and will sort of catch that ground. So let's have a go at you. Based upon our knowledge of the uphill, what do we think about the ball flight story on this particular shot on a downhill?
It would be the reverse, so it's going to launch lower.
Yes.
Which is probably going to mean club down rather than club up.
Exactly, so you've got 7 iron, so I'm going to give you now your 8 iron. Yep. Perfect.
Again, it'll be a case of matching the slope.
Correct.
And again, probably just try and do a bit of a punchy shot and get through the ball.
I love that. I think you've got it nailed on. Now, again, these are little things that I found over the years which really helped me play these shots, and I don't think you can underestimate that. Okay, so this advice is really, really key. I think this is what I would say. Everyone says when you learn to drive, you learn to pass your test, then you learn how to actually drive after them. Hopefully in America you get that analogy. If you don't, what I'm trying to say is, you're learning now, you've learned to hit the ball on the range, now this is the craft of golf. So, when we're on a downhill slope, the first thing, like I said, it launches lower, because now we're turning our 7 iron into a 6 iron, so we're going to turn our 8 iron into a 7 iron.
Yep.
With then, I like to grip down slightly. I just feel like I shorten that lever would stop me dumping it out early a little bit.
Yep.
We're then going to match the slope as you said, so shorter club, grip down, match the slope, and this is so key. You've got to really feel like you swing down that slope, really down that slope. And I like what you said there, Jonathan, about it being a little bit more punchy through that. We've got to really avoid that urge to lift it in the air. You've taken more loft to combat that. And in some scenarios, the more that slope is downhill, you could possibly go from 7 iron all the way to a 9 iron. I think in this case, 8 iron's all right. So let's give it a play. So take one more club, grip, down, match the slope, swing down the slope. Really, really key. They're the aspects of this. You could possibly move the ball back a little bit. That should help. Good. A shot. Really good. Get a good kick round there. God, look at this. Keep going round. But you see how low that came out?
Yeah.
So let's just summarise them again. We're feeling like we're matching that slope, we're gripping down. We could also move that ball slightly back and swing down that slope to really aid us getting that ball first and not dumping that club out early. You've now got all the knowledge to play ball above, ball below, uphill and downhill out on the golf course.